for the announcement on the sports memorabilia situation. And I'm going to be one of the speakers. So after my week off of being ill, which I'm still dealing with this friggin' vertigo stuff, but it's much better. I'm now refocused back over to the sports memorabilia because Dave has me on the main announcement show. So literally what's happening is it's going to be opened up to everybody. I don't have all of the details, but you really want to start thinking about combining this with the sampling program. So any contacts that you've already got that are utilizing the sampling program, they'll be able to take advantage of this as well. So, you know, everybody that's in a salon or anybody that's there that's got a family, chances are they'll have somebody in your area that is interested in sports memorabilia. And I don't quite have my head around the final launch because there's elements to it that I wasn't involved in. So some of it on the day that I'm, you know, there with the announcement with Dave and Rick Cotton and Bruce Matheson will be a surprise to me as well. But I'm sure there's going to be ways, because Dave told me that this is the biggest initiative that he's ever done. And he's prepared to give away and sell basically everything from his sports memorabilia side of things and to promote Valentis. So it's going to be a very, very big deal. It's going to open a lot of doors. And literally, in essence, what is happening is they're basically, oh, good, Drew's coming on because I wanted him to be aware of this. I don't know if he was aware of it. Get over to him. So literally, here comes Drew. So Drew, you're the man I wanted to share this with. Did you hear about the sports memorabilia giveaway?
I heard something about it in December, but I didn't hear much detail.
Okay, so at the end of this month, I've been working on a semi-secret project now for more than a year, and we've all been under non-disclosures and all kinds of different things relating to sports memorabilia, but it's about to be launched. Oh, I guess we lost Drew. And it's going to have a way. I talked to Dave Jordan for almost an hour, I guess, a couple of days ago. And there's going to be definitely a way to tie in what we are doing with the sampling program into this sports memorabilia program. So anybody that's established people with the giveaway, it's not going to be mandatory, of course, if you're happy with the way it's going, but you're going to be able to actually introduce the sports memorabilia side of things into the people that are doing the sampling program. So my suggestion for everybody, and kind of the theme for today, is when they make the announcement about the big meeting that's going to be happening for the announcement for the sports memorabilia program, which I believe, let me take a look at my calendar. I think he said it's on the 29th, because he's asked me to be one of the speakers, because that's actually how I met Dave was I actually was recruited through his first test of the sports memorabilia, but I was fully involved with Galen at the time, and I turned him down for over a year until everyone knows the history of how. But that was how I met Dave Jordan. Was I was introduced. I received a phone call, and I was asked if I was a sports fan, and I said I was. And they said to me, this girl who happened to be, I didn't know who it was, but it was John Harem's daughter. And she said to me at the time, oh, so you're a hockey fan. Who's your favorite player on the Vancouver? And I said, the team. And she said, who's your favorite player? And I said, oh, Henrik and Daniel Sedin on the Vancouver Canucks. And she said, well, we're doing a informational meeting out in Surrey, which is about a 45-minute drive from me. Would you be interested in attending on how to tie in a sports memorabilia business with a work from home opportunity? And I said, yeah, well, I'd be interested. She said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you 2 Henrik Sedin cards and tickets to attend the event. And I said, yeah, right. Yeah. I said, yeah, you're going to send me 2. I didn't say it that way. I said, well, that would be very nice. So she said, what's your, address? So I gave her the address and basically hung up the phone, and I turned to Tracy. I always remember it. I said, somebody phoned me, said they're giving me 2 Henrik Sedin cards. Well, in Vancouver, those 2 cards are worth something. I could probably walk down outside a hockey game and say, here's a Henrik Sedin card, and probably get $100 for it easily, right? They're just that rare. And so a week later, I get this. I should have kept the envelope. Maybe I did. But I get this handwritten note, and a U.S. stamp on it. And I open it, and I swear it was like angels coming out of the envelope. I'm holding 2 cards. One's Daniel and one's Henrik Sedin, and there's 2 tickets to the map and a little piece of paper on how to get to this golf course in Surrey. And so I said, Tracy, I don't care what's going on this Tuesday night. We're going to this thing. This is unbelievable. This is crazy. So I put on my expensive Canucks jacket. I have this exclusive leather jacket. I've been a season ticket holder for 18 years, and I go out for this sports memorabilia thing. And I don't know who Dave Jordan is at all. I knew who John Haremza was, but just by name, I'd never met him. And I walk into this meeting, and there's some chairs set up and all of this stuff, and there's a whole display of different sports memorabilia. And then I see Valentis. And of course, I always sit in the front row at anything I ever go to. And Tracy, we were only together a short while at that time, and she doesn't know anything about network marketing or MLM. I'm sure that was completely foreign to her. And I go, oh my God, this is a network marketing opportunity meeting. She goes, oh, what's that? And I said, well, you're going to find out real quick. And so they put on this display. And the reason that I was going to go was they were going to give me $100 worth of sports memorabilia to my choosing. And here it is. I've never opened it. It's got, the Canada Cup Hockey Series. It's got the one on the back's a Mike Bossy card. This is like packed with stuff that they gave you only if you stayed to the end, right? And there were about, 30 people in there. At that meeting, I would say, normally at any meeting I've ever done in my life, and I've probably been to over 1,000 opportunity meetings, I'm sure, in the 50 years that I've been doing this, you'd get out of 30 people, 3 or 4 that would actually enroll. Well, they ended up getting, basically, I was the only one that didn't enroll. And I shook Dave Jordan's hand and I said, Dave, I can't enroll. I'm really happy with the company that I'm involved in. They've got a great product called Emulin. And, well, I appreciate this. And he just said, well, I appreciate your honesty. And here's your gift back. And let's stay in touch. And so that was a really interesting meeting. And then that resulted in me meeting with Dave Jordan 4 different times in the year that went on, just to have dinner, talk about sports. He'd pick my brain about the industry, and we became friends. That's literally how we developed our friendship. And then when, of course, we moved from Igalen because of what they did to Valentis, I said, Dave, why aren't you using this sports memorabilia giveaway? You got me in the business, maybe not right away, but you signed up all those people. And he said, I think this is a good idea to do this. That was a test. We had been working on this for 10 years, but he said, the challenge is I've got all of my stuff in North Dakota and the facilities in South Dakota, and it's all in basically semi-trailers and climate-controlled facilities that I built on my property in North Dakota. And I said, well, how much of this stuff do you have? And he said, well, about $400 million worth. Well, my jaw dropped. I had no idea it was that much. Now it's $1 billion. Because of COVID, all of that memorabilia stuff has gone through the roof. And so it was about a year ago, whenever Bruce Matheson came on board, and I had the chance to talk to Bruce, I went out to South Dakota with Dave Nelson, and I said, this is something, Dave, that you should really do. And he said, well, I got to tell you a secret. Bruce Matheson came on board with the promise that I would launch this. And so during this past year, 18 months, whatever it is, 2 years, I can't remember. Timelines are so screwed up in my head now. I don't know if I'm coming or going half the time because of COVID. But we started the process of this actually happening. And part way, and I'm going to tell you some inside secrets because you guys are all my friends and I've known you for decades and decades. Dave and Joyce got on the phone with Tracy and I, and we've been very close friends. They flew us down to Orlando and we went on an all-expense paid trip with just them to Disney World. And we've really become close friends. And Joyce said, I'm about to sell our home in North Dakota. And Tracy said, why? And we were sitting there and Dave had this grin on his face and we were sitting right in Disney World. And he said, well, I'm moving all my memorabilia and we're going to launch this in a big way. It's going to take me a couple of years. So you got to keep this a secret, but we're buying a house in South Dakota. We're going to move all of our stuff into our new warehouse. So I had a, subsequently I went to, with Dave Nelson, South Dakota, and we saw the warehouse. 42 semi-loads of sports memorabilia has been moved to South Dakota. It's all been laid out. It's all been sorted. It's all been itemized so that people that are in, like where Drew lives in Michigan, can get Detroit Red Wings memorabilia. What's the name of the football team there? They get Detroit Tigers, isn't it? Or
Lions.
Something? Lions? Okay. I don't know much about football. But anyways, the Detroit Lions. You got Major League Baseball. You got whatever the NBA team is in your area. And so we've lined it all out with the idea that COVID's going to end. We know it's all going to end, right? And we're going to eventually be able to do hotel functions and all that. But to start, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be saying to somebody, hey, you like sports memorabilia? And they get all salivation happening and drooling. And yes, I love sports memorabilia. Who's your favorite team? It doesn't matter what they say, we have it. And we have literally got a army of major league sports celebrities that are on board. Now, because we have a local celebrity, and I'll let them in on the secret, Wayne has been invited to some of these secret meetings because Wayne was, with the San Diego Chargers and coached football and did all of that. He was invited in to some of these meetings, and he got to meet, or at least see, like I did. I don't say meet, but some of the top sports celebrities. So Dave Christensen, who was Miracle on Ice, he's one of the key speakers. 10-year career in the NHL, Hall of Famer. What's the name of the baseball guy?
Gus Gossage.
Yeah, Gus Goss, and then there's like a whole bevy of A-lister retired people. But here's the thing that's really crazy about it. For the past 2 years, Dave has been sending these guys their cards by certified courier and getting them to sign them. So these are all signed cards. So it's not just me talking. Wayne, tell them how the numbers of cards that some of these guys have signed. It's mind-blowing. Tell them.
I can't remember the name of the guy. He was a pitcher. He's a coach in the Japanese league now, and he was on a call, and he said I just finished signing 20,000. Dave says, good. I got 30,000 more on the way to you.
Yeah. So the average celebrity has signed more than 10,000 cards. And there's dozens of these guys. So if you took a card that was worth, on the market $50, and you add a signature to that card, an original signature, that card's way more worth than $50 when you get that signature. So now here's the proposition. You're going to be able to go in and say, hey, you like sports memorabilia? You're a hockey fan? I'll tell you what, come to this virtual meeting. It'll be done online to start. You'll get a gift just for showing up. You'll get a gift just for showing up and staying to the end of the webinar. You'll get the details. But if you join, you're going to get $1,000 of sports memorabilia credit to give to guests to bring them on to the call. And if they buy product, they're going to get more than the value of the product in sports memorabilia for enrolling with Valentis. And then there's going to be a further follow-up. So at the end of the day, I know the numbers have changed. They've fluctuated. They've gone up and down. But what I can tell you is that Dave's giving away millions upon millions upon millions of dollars of sports memorabilia. So you might be thinking, why the heck is he doing this? He's doing this because he has fallen in love with Emulant. And this is the second biggest part of the story. Joe Aarons has been actively involved in this moment from the beginning. Joe's kept a very quiet mouth about it, but when Bruce came on board and took the product, having been a quarterback, and got the results that he got in terms of pain reduction and all the benefits that we all know that Emulant delivers, he said, we've got to tie this campaign directly into selling and getting millions of people to use Emulin. So Bruce, working with his contacts in professional sports, got in touch with this doctor. I can't remember his name. Do you remember the guy that certified it? Wayne? I can't. He's well known, like he's known by the Olympic Committee. Anyways, he worked with Joe Aarons, and they got certification on the Emulin bottle to say that this product is safe to use by athletes and won't trigger a blood issue, like an illegal substance issue when they're blood tested. So this Emulin is now officially a certified product that can be taken by Olympic athletes, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, you name it, it's certified worldwide. So when they launch this, it's all being tied into the reason that we ended up with Valentis, the sale of Emulin. And all of these athletes, all of these top-notch figures that have followings of millions of people are all endorsing Emulin. This is the biggest marketing situation that has ever occurred in my 50 years in the MLM industry by a country mile. This is beyond anything that I have ever witnessed, that I have ever seen. And Dave, the only thing Dave gets out of this is a tax receipt. So he can offset the income he's going to make with Valentis selling Emulin by getting a tax receipt for giving away the sports memorabilia. So it'll lower the amount of taxes that he will pay as he sells Emulin. But in rights, he has a right to do that because he paid for all of those cards over the years through eBay and all the ways that he bought these cards. So this video today is something that I wanted to give everybody the opportunity, and I'm going to cut it off fairly shortly here so that you can send this to people. Because on that big call that we have upcoming, whatever date it's announced, I believe it's going to be on the 29th, you want to reach out to everybody that's ever been in your teams. You want to share this with everybody, because literally over the next 2 years, there are going to be tens of millions of dollars made by individual distributors. And the person that can literally get the largest number of people on the call could do wonders. There are people that are coming in because of this that are lined up right now underneath my organization, underneath John Harems's, Don Carson's, that are just literally moving on board. I think the number was 6 CEOs from the industry that are household names have joined Valentis in the last 6 months because of what Dave Jordan's doing. And when people that are highly successful, that are industry icons, that are sports figures that have reputations that they need to are coming en masse to be part of something, you know that you, as a person that maybe not that, should be paying attention to that moment. And so I'm telling you that this does not want to go down in your life of, I should have, could have, would have paid attention to that day that I heard this head start, heads up call from Dori O'Neill, what was going to happen. But my friend did something They made a ton of money, and I sat back and I missed out. You don't want that to be this moment. So this is an opportunity that has been a long time in the making, that I'm very, very excited about. And I want you to all pay attention and get this out, and then let everyone know that what's about to happen. And it will then transition from online to 74 cities across Canada and the United States. We have already scouted out the locations. So it's going to be obviously all of the major cities that have sports teams. And when you do those events, Dave is going to have the athletes present at the events. Can you imagine what this will do? The lineups to get into those meetings? Well, let me tell you, you want your people lining up with their guests when COVID-19 is over. And like Debbie, she's close to Edmonton. He's got, I forget how many thousands of Connor McDavid cards. We're going to do special things at these live events, like in New York. I'm just making this up, but that we're going to have, like, let's say for the New York Jets, they're going to have a Joe Namath signed portrait picture that one person that attends is going to get in the draw. That type of thing to make it a big deal. We're going to tie in newspaper, radio, and it's going to be a very, very, very big deal over the next 2-3 years. So that's it for today. I hope everybody's excited, and you just really, really want to share this if you possibly can. And I'll, Debbie, get you the replay of this, and you can do your little editing magic and share this with everybody that's on this, and Dave, and we'll get this happening.
Good.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Dori.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Dori.